A couple of exercises and consistency will help you have a reliable horse waiting for you when you put your foot in the stirrup. The following method works perfectly well, either you start a colt or fix a problem horse. Naturally, when you get on your horse, you have to consider his comfort first. Remove all mane hair from under the saddle, make sure he's balanced and ready to receive you on his back, propel yourself from the ground instead of pulling up on the horn or the cantle, and land as lightly as a feather. Next rule, once you sit on the saddle, is to make sure you do nothing. I mean by that, don't ask your horse to move around, to start to walk, trot, or canter at once. Just stand still on the saddle and ask for a lateral flexion, or work on your soft feel. I give you the link to that exercise in the description box below. So let's recap these 5 steps. 1. Check your cinch and make sure there's no mane hair stuck under the saddle. 2. Use the lateral flexion to get your horse's attention and help him balance himself. 3. Grab a handful of mane hair in the cantle, but don't pull. Push yourself up, using your right leg. 4. Raise your right leg when passing over your horse's back and land lightly in the saddle. 5. Use the lateral flexion to make sure your horse stands right where he is until you ask otherwise. As you see, lateral flexion is essential in good horsemanship, and not just to get on the saddle. It will help balance your horse and, quite counterintuitively, also help straighten him up. The first step is to teach lateral flexion from the ground. Position yourself at the flank of your horse and pull lightly on the rein. You want to bring the horse to flex his head laterally, ears parallel to the ground, and in a relaxed attitude. Keep pulling until he stands still. Some horses respond by moving their feet instead of flexing the head. You have to be particular and not to give up. Even if that means that you will walk with your horse for a while. Wait for your horse until he stops laying on the halter and does this little extra effort to bring his head close to you. Then release the rein and pet him. Repeating this process consistently will help your horse to become light and soft in the neck. Moreover, it will teach him to stay put when you prepare to mount. By the way, as for all exercises described in my program, remember to practice on both sides. That is the key to physically and mentally balanced horses. A quick recap about the lateral flexion. Poles should be slightly higher than the withers, ears level with the ground, and head flexed at 90 degrees on the vertical line. Some horses, mostly young ones during the starting process, can lose their balance when you attempt to ride them at the beginning. That is the reason why we have to take our time. During the first couple of rides, just walk the horse for a few minutes. Let him get used to your weight and its distribution on the saddle. Anyway, before mounting, make sure your horse is ready to welcome you on board. Your horse's weight should be well distributed on his 4 legs. So position the horse correctly and rock the saddle to let him lock his legs and be ready for you.
J'aimerais ça en avoir des comme ça.
Ouais. C'est très pratique. If your horse starts to move as soon as you sit down on the saddle, I strongly advise to flex his head again. The operation is the same as from the ground, and if the groundwork has been done correctly, the horse will instantly flex the head and gradually stop. After a while, your horse will get used to the lateral flexion, to your foot in the stirrup, and to your weight when you propel yourself up in the saddle. Yet, keep in mind that you should remain consistent. Never let go any challenging behavior, as these would annihilate your work. I really advise you to train yourself and get your horse used to mount and dismount on both sides. You never know when that could become handy. Plus, it's good for your coordination, and that's good desensitizing for the horse.
That's pretty good, my boy.
Last, when you're all done and it's time to dismount, just make sure you bend over your saddle and raise your leg high. You don't want to kick your horse in the butt halfway down to the ground, or you may get there quicker than expected.